Hello everyone and welcome. This is Amber with Georgia Papercrafts. Today I am starting my Halloween 2019 Halloween card series, and we're starting out by making two cards using different spiderweb dies. The first spiderweb die that I am using is from Fun Stamper's Journey. I got this during one of their sales and I got a really good deal on it. What it is a die set that comes with two die templates, and it has an outer edge and then the inner portion, which is actually the web. So I cut a backing sheet out of some Tim Holtz Idea-ology Halloween worn wallpaper paper, and that's the kind of, it looks like wallpaper in the background. And then I cut out the spider web from Tim Holtz metallic cardstock, and that's in a black color. It's almost, it's not really metallic to me. It's almost like a flat black goodness color. And here I'm going to go ahead and adhere it using some glue straight down onto this wallpaper looking piece of paper. And to the side you see I cut another piece of the spider web, another of the spider web, and this time I'm going to take the inner portion and I'm going to inlay it. So I cut it out of some silver cardstock, and I'm just paper piecing, pretty much putting all these inner pieces in, filling them in to make a black with a silver glitter cardstock inner portion. This is really easy to do, and it is actually very easy if you leave it on your cutting plate, kind of like I have right there, and all the pieces are still kind of in the same place, so I kind of knew exactly where to put them. Just putting down some glue and then just like a puzzle fitting it into place. By the way, this card is an A2 size card, and I had made this onto a white card base that I made out of some heavy cardstock, 110-pound cardstock from my stash. I'm going to get this all filled in. Like I say, if you like to paper piece, which I do, this is fun, and the design looks really neat. It gives it some dimension, or at least the look of dimension. There's a lot of little pieces around that inner portion right there. And I'm sorry if you see my scratches there on my right hand. It looked kind of gruesome. I apologize about that. I did get between the dog and the cat, which was not such a smart idea. And you can see the result of it. Still healing to this day. It's been about 2 weeks. Who knew that a cat's claws could be so vicious, right? Alright. Putting in my last piece. I had to go look for that piece. I couldn't find it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and stamp out some sentiments. And I'm going to stamp out a sentiment for both of the cards. So this is an older stamp set from My Favorite Things, and it is called Spooky Sentiments. I really liked it because it's just general large sayings, and this one says, "You're so awesome, it's scary." I'm going to stamp that with some Versafine Onyx black ink, and I'm going to go ahead and cover it with some ultrafine clear embossing powder, get it heated up so that it's kind of nice and shiny. And obviously you can tell this is a nice, easy design to cut out. Once I get it all cut out, which I did cut right along the line, I did go around the side of it with some black just to cover up any imperfections. Now here I'm trying to stamp something on the inside. Okay, so I'm trying to use another of the stamps from the same stamp set, and it says Happy Haunting. Well, obviously I didn't get a good stamp. So, and then I tried to maybe reposition it. Yeah, not so good. That's why we use these Misties, but I didn't want to scrap it because obviously I had the card already put together, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this using my Misty, make sure I get a good stamp. and I heat embossed it, cut it out, and now I'm going to overlay that on top of the messed up one that I already did. So it'll look like it had a little dimension. Put some foam tape on the back of my sentiment here. And put that right in the middle. And then as you can see, I'm going to use some of these spiders. I bought these in a big pack many Halloweens ago. I don't even know where they came from. Probably one of the local craft stores. They're kind of those plastic spiders. I'm going to put a bunch of those around the spider web, but I should have known better. Putting a liquid adhesive on these and then trying to get them to lay onto this glitter cardstock, yeah, it doesn't really work, and I know better. I don't know why I'm doing this. As you can see, I wind up having to kind of redo it. Yeah, flipped right off. So now I'm bringing in my art glitter glue, but I have a very large top on it, so it comes out kind of in big globs. So some of them I'm having to kind of lot off to the side there so I can get some of it off. And I wind up putting some acrylic blocks on them to try to just get them to hold in place until the glue dries. And eventually it does work. They finally do dry and actually stick. But as you'll see, I learned my lesson from the first one, and I change up. And that's pretty much it. So that's our first use of the die with one of the spiderweb dies, is to just inlay it. Here's a still photo. I thought this turned out really cute. Now this second time I'm going to use a different spiderweb die. This is an older one that I had from years ago. It's from My Favorite Things, and it's the spiderweb die of all things. And I used some paper that from a matte stack die cuts with a view ghost stories. I believe I got this maybe at Joann's. I thought it had really adorable paper, great Halloween paper. As you can see, I cut that down. Now this die also cuts out a thin outer frame, and so I'm putting that down, and then it cuts out that inner spiderweb portion. So on this one, you could also choose to do the paper piecing, but this time I'm going to make this into a shaker card. So I bring in some, if you can, it's hard to see on my mat, but I already have a piece of acetate cut. It's right up to the left there. I have that cut. I'm just putting some liquid glue onto the back so that I can adhere that onto the acetate. Not being real heavy, even though it kind of looks like it. I'm going to adhere that down and just trim it up to make sure there's no overhanging pieces. Now the only problem with this die that I have found is as I went to make the shaker, obviously I'm still using these very thin Derice foam adhesive strips, but they're still a little bit too thick. And I say that because you'll see when I turn over the card, you can kind of see some of the white adhesive strip. Now, once I got it all put together, see right there, you can kind of see it. It didn't bother me that bad, but if this is something that really you can't stand, then I wouldn't use this die to make a shaker because it'd probably drive you nuts. I am going to fill this with some, this is just some Halloween confetti I got at Joann. And it's really small, which helps because I only put that one layer of the foam adhesive. Get that centered on there. Shake it up. That all looks good. And here's another sentiment from that same stamp set. It says, "Creeping by to say hi." Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere that onto a pre-made card base. Like I say, see, you can see a little bit of that white. It didn't bother me horribly, but like I say, it's not the best. But so here is where I learned. Yeah, these spiders, I decided to go ahead and put little double-sided adhesive strips on them before putting it down. So I'm doing that. I'm pulling them all up. Anything that overhangs, I just tuck it behind. And of course, this helps to get it stuck in place. Just going to put that all throughout the card. And there's my 2 cards. Easy peasy, something you can replicate pretty easy on both of them. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make these 2 cards using 2 different spiderweb dies. Please come back and join me for more of my Halloween 2019 card series. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more from Georgia Papercrafts. Thank you so much and have a good day.